Yo guys, today's episode of Borito Talk is sponsored by me. No, I'm kidding. Today's episode of Burrito Talk is sponsored by the Burrito Takeover YouTube membership, the best membership on all of YouTube. For just $4.99 Canadian, you unlock a bunch of extra behind the scenes, extra breakdowns, extra analysis from yours truly, Burrito. A lot of extra content that you will not get on any other YouTube channel for their memberships. Not trying to compare or anything, but it is the best YouTube membership. If you're interested in extra content, extra chill nights, watching breakdowns, analysis, so much good stuff in the archives, and so much more on the way from yours truly, Burrito. So hit the join button. Join, support the Burrito Takeover on my road to full-time content. This episode of Burrito Talk is sponsored by the Burrito Takeover YouTube membership. Now back to the podcast. Yo guys, welcome back to another episode of the Borito Talk podcast. I'm your host, the number one CDL ESPN analyst in the game, Borito. And today we're just going to give a preview to this weekend's matches. It's WrestleMania weekend. I'm lit all week. I'm going to be lit this weekend. No stream Saturday, Sunday, because I will be at Mania. I will be at my watch parties in real life. My family watch parties. Just wanted to give a preview of this weekend's matches since I won't be around that often. I was supposed to do this video, I'm not gonna lie. I planned on doing this video on like Tuesday, but so much content happened, so much coaching happened. I've been doing a lot more coaching behind the scenes. I've been actually getting a lot of DMs from a lot of teams, a lot of individual players who just want to improve their game. So if you're interested, you can always hit my DMs on that stuff. But I have been busy with a lot of that recently, which is kind of taken away from content, even though I've still been doing content every day. I'm still on a grind. So I was supposed to do this a long time ago. I probably could have made time for it. But I was like, I'm going to be going like an hour and a half. Like, I have to make sure I'm ready for this. But here we are doing it the last second, 2 hours before the first matches of Friday start. But just want to give you guys a preview because you could still even watch this after the Friday matches. Talking about certain teams, teams like Atlanta FaZe, who now have their backs against the wall with the way they've started these qualifiers, and my thoughts on who's going to finish in the top 8, who's going to start in the winner's bracket for this major. This is the final week before Major 3 in Boca Raton, Florida. By the way, for those of you who didn't know, next weekend is Major 3 on land in Florida. So this is the last week of qualifiers. This is the only week, this is the only qualifiers where there is 5 matches. Next qualifier we go back to 7, I'm pretty sure. So with that being said, I mean, let's get into it. Right now we're looking at the Major 3 qualifier standings so far. Miami pretty much solidified they're going to be in the winner's bracket. Don't think they're going to start in first. We're going to be going through teams' games. But where should I start first? I'm going to start with Atlanta FaZe because I've been thinking about them lately. You know? Not because I'm a FaZe fan. I knew it. I knew you're thinking about them. No. Chill, guys. So Atlanta FaZe started this Major 3 qualifiers with a 1-2 record. In the very beginning, I was saying don't worry about it because they have been testing map pool. They've been playing a Vault Hardpoint a lot, trying to get that into a map pool. And I just have to start off by saying these S&D changes have completely switch where I rank FaZe in my head in terms of being like the best team in the game. Now I think kind of LAT kind of edges them. This S&D change has nerfed Atlanta FaZe Like, I've never seen a map pool nerf a team in my life. Taking away Skyline and Vault S&D now diminishes their map pool in S&D dramatically, because now their Auto Veto Hacienda S&D, they now have to start playing it. They need to get used to start playing, which is why you've been seeing in pretty much all their series. They don't want to play Rewind, even though I think they're pretty good at Rewind, but they don't like Rewind. So if they don't play Rewind, they have to play Dealership, Hacienda, Red Card, which most maps ban against them. Most teams ban against them because they know it's like their best S&D map now. So if you take away Red Card and they ban Rewind, then you're basically playing a Dealership, Hacienda, and Protocol, which are still good at Protocol, but there's a lot of teams that are good at Protocol. So it's not as convincing in their S&D map pool as it was before with Skyline and Vault. With Skyline and Vault, you could probably take them 90 to 95% of the time, but now Dealership, they probably have less than a 50% chance. Even though in their game against Miami, they started off, they were losing 4-1, but they had good Jeez, I can't even talk. Good adaptations in the second half of that S&D and brought it back to 5-5, but a BZ was trolling his life like I've never seen anyone troll their life so many times in that S&D. But yeah, the S&D map pool has really nerfed them, and I will get more into that when I do my Major 3 bracket predictions after this week of matches when we get the actual bracket, talking more about FaZe's S&D map pool and where I think they're going to finish in this major. But their backs are against the wall now, because if I pull up their I pulled up the recent matches here. Right now they're 1-2, and their last 2 matches are against Vegas Falcons and Optic, which is very interesting. Very interesting. So they played Ultra, they lost 3-2. I mean, that Vault, they still won that. And then Hacienda, they won 6-5. Actually, no, like they fucking lost the Vault. I forgot. Jeez, I actually thought they won that. Am I cooked? I thought they fucking beat them in the Vault. I guess that was Miami. Yeah, but they won the Hacienda, they won the Protocol, and then they lost Hacienda Hardpoint and lost 6-3 in Protocol S&D. Not only is their S&D map pool looking shaky, but now their hardpoint, I mean, their hardpoints look shaky since like the beginning of the year. There was just like a small period in there where it felt like they're unbeatable at hardpoint. And it sounds crazy, but I feel in this game more than other games, because in other games I'd actually say the more opposite. But their hardpoint looks way better when their backs are against the wall. Like when they played LA Thieves at the last major, the first time on Red Card, they got bopped. But then they played them again, and their backs were against the wall, and they realized the mistakes that they made and everything, and they put up a way better performance. They still lost. Same thing I could say with Hacienda throughout the whole weekend of the Major 2 tourney. Their Hacienda hardpoint was shaky, and then in the finals, where it's like, okay, we got to lock in for this one, they put up a masterclass against Vancouver, and Vancouver had no chance. So I think their hardpoint does look better when their backs are against the wall, because it forces them to play more discipline, which is something they've lacked a lot. They leave a lot of holes open. They're very good at rotating, but they get broken easily. Their hardpoint is always looking shaky, especially Hacienda. It comes down to the freaking P2s on Hacienda every single time. They're like the best P4 team in the game, and they're the best P3 team in the game, but their P2s have dramatically cost their best hardpoint right now is probably Protocol, and teams are probably just going to ban it, make them play Hacienda. And then Red Card, they're pretty much better than most teams at that map, but they still are susceptible to losing it to teams obviously like LAT, even on maybe a good day Miami as well. So they can't lose that map, but majority of the time they're better than most teams at most of these hardpoints, but it's still pretty shaky, and the S&D is a little bit shaky. Their control has gotten better. Their Protocol, they finally picked Protocol control back up to a point where they feel comfortable playing against everyone. I'm curious how they'll play it against a team like LAT, though. I think they got a lot better on the map against most other teams, and it just comes down to hardpoint and S&D now. I think their control's in a good enough spot. Dude, I didn't realize my webcam froze. No one even told me that. Actually, no one could tell me because nobody could tell me because I'm not even live. My bad. Holy cow. Let me fix this. Jeez. Nobody told me this. I'm so sorry for those audio listeners, but I have to get the webcam back up right now live. It should be back up right now. Okay, cool. Okay, webcam is back up live. Don't know why it froze. How long was it frozen for? Was it frozen for the whole time? I'm so sorry for that inconvenience. Even though, I mean, we're looking at the screen anyway. Yeah, but Atlanta FaZe, I mean, we'll get more into it in like the bracket 3 predictions, but now testing map pool has kind of put their backs against the wall in terms of now they have to win the last 2 games. It would be a lot more different if it was a 7-game qualifier, but I feel with a 5-game qualifier, they probably should have taken like the first couple games a lot more seriously and then had more flex space in the last 3. At least secure 2 wins and then think you're going to get a third from testing map pool. But now they put their backs against the wall, and I think maybe this could be a blessing in disguise. It could either be a blessing in disguise or the biggest mistake. Either it could be the biggest mistake because if they lose another game, they're kind of screwed. There is a chance they could still make it to the winners with a 2-3 record, but the percentages go down a lot. We're going to get more into that when we get into the standings. But now this is a good mental test because now they have 2 must-win games. It's always nice to have your back against the wall and prevail as a team. You know, it's good for the confidence. It's good knowing you're capable of that, going into like the business end of the COD League season. So, I mean, this will be good for them. They have Vegas and Optic. I do think they will beat Optic. And I made a bet with my boy Mark that if Atlanta FaZe beats Vegas Falcons, he has to give me a sub. But if Atlanta FaZe lose to the Falcons, I have to buy him a Vegas Falcons jersey live on stream. And if I have the option to put his name on the back, I actually will put his name on or I'll just fucking put Prez. I don't know, but we'll see. But yeah, dude, I've been making all these bets. At least I'll have to pay back my other bet. Shout out to AJ, it's on the way. Yeah, but Atlanta FaZe have their backs against the wall, but we'll get more into like that stuff in the Major 3 bracket. Just wanted to go through that because I could yap about them for like half an hour, but we don't have half an hour to yap about one team. Let's take a look at like the standings right now for this Major 3 qualifier. So with 2 games left, there's a lot of teams that have one more game to play. Optic's last game is against Atlanta FaZe, which is why it's a big game for FaZe, because if you at least beat Optic in that game, then you win on the head-to-head, which means if there's a bunch of teams tied on 2 and 3, you will still go above them. So that game against Optic's probably the biggest one, because they can lose to Falcons. I mean, I would not recommend it. Would not want to be like the laughingstock there. But if you beat Optic, you go above them on just head-to-head. So you're guaranteed pretty much 8th, unless, even if Cloud9, who are Cloud9's games against? Let's go through Cloud9's games. So Cloud9 they play Boston today, and then they play Vancouver. Ooh. They're guaranteed at least lose one of those. So they will probably minimum finish 2 and 3 or 1 and 4. So Cloud9 will be pretty much below FaZe. Falcons' last games are against FaZe and Boston. That Boston game, that's a really good game, actually. That's the first game. I could actually probably watch that before I go to my Mania. I could actually probably watch these first 2 games. I actually might watch party these first 2 games before I go to my WrestleMania watch party. The reason why I have to go earlier is because I'm making food. Usually for the big pay-per-views, I actually pull out like the fucking cookbook, and I actually get deep into that shit. So I may be able to watch these first 2 games and then bounce right after. I actually may be able to, but by then it'll be like 4 and the event starts at 5. So maybe I might not be able to. I might just watch like the Boston and Vegas game and then fucking dip, but we'll see. Or I just might not watch either. until after. So Vegas probably gonna lose one or two of those. They could win both. I mean, they could be FaZe, but I don't think they're gonna be FaZe. I'm pretty sure they're not gonna be FaZe. There's no way Priesta beats FaZe. Like just Priesta alone, I don't think Priesta or Xnit have the capabilities of that. So I think FaZe is going to beat Optic and Vegas. I think they're going to finish 3-2. That's just my prediction. So I think FaZe should be good on the winners bracket, but this is a nice test for them, having their backs against the wall. But even if they win if they go 1-1, they'll still have a head-to-head on either team, which will put them ahead. So they'll still be 8th. So yeah, they just got to at least win one, but we'll see. And then Carolina's last game is against LAT with their new fourth, Dylan Røkkr. So Dylan Røkkr, I just made a YouTube video on him. Go check out. It's my most recent one going through. I was not familiar with this game because the only game I saw from him is the EWC and MW3, which was not pretty for that FC Black team, I must say. But it all comes down to how Slasher wants this guy to play. If you allow Dylan Røkkr to play at the pace that he plays, because he actually plays really fast, he's really aggressive with the AR. It gives me some reminiscences of Draza, to be honest. If he allows him to play like that, then I mean, the pace of this team with Gwyn, like Gwyn has a very fast pace, but a lot of times he likes taking routes. The only time he plays like super aggressive at pace and plays objective and he's all around the objective is usually when his team's back's against the wall and he feels like he has to do it all. But usually when his team's in control, he's roaming. He's usually the guy fucking taking a lot of flanks. So if you pair that with TJ's aggression and then add Dylan Røkkr in there and then Slasher, the guy blocking the spawns, bring it all together, being that last line of defense is the AR, dude, this could be a Diffie team. This could be a gravy team. And I already made the video about it, but if they allow him to play like that and they didn't let Reese play like that, that is criminal for Reese's stock that they just did him dirty like that. But I have high hopes for this team, but against LAT, it is a very interesting intro game to come into. If they win that, that's going to boost Carolina's confidence a lot going to this major. Like if they win that one. And LAT is not unbeatable. By the way, they're not unbeatable at all. They're very beatable. Like, I think Carolina could actually give them a good fight with the addition of Dylan Røkkr. This is a great game to see where he stands, coming right into the league against literally the best team. This will be very interesting for Dylan Røkkr, and I'm actually super excited to see that game. Unfortunately, it's the last game of Sunday, so I will be at my Mania watch party. But on Monday, guys, I will be going back and doing a VOD review of most of the games that I missed. I'll probably just do like a 5-hour stream after work. I won't make any videos on that Monday. I won't make any videos on that Monday. I'll just be live going through VOD, and we'll just fucking vibe out together. So be there for that. Yeah, so dude, like the standings actually aren't as bad as I thought, to be honest. So Cloud9, Røkkr is in a shithole. They have one game left. 2 and 3, they have to depend on a lot of teams to lose here. And that's the thing about Røkkr, man. They've choked a lot of games, man. And the last game's against Miami, who's like red hot right now. Like Røkkr realistically should be 3-1 right now. They've choked 2 games. They choked against Cloud9. Who's actually the other team that they played against? They trolled a lot. And I feel like most of these chokes have came down to the other 3 and not Kenny. They mostly come down to Nero and Estral, even Geo on like that last Hacienda hardpoint. I mean, I should even actually go through that like on stream right now. So I'm just going to pull up Røkkr right now. So they're 1 and 3, their matches. The game against Optic, they trolled both hard points like pretty drastically. They should have won that. They beat Boston. They actually could have beat Carolina. They should be 4-0, to be honest. Like, realistically, they should be 4-0. Like, if we're being for real. Like, they've trolled a lot. And now they put themselves in a shitty spot. You got to think, if they got those 3 wins, I mean, if they get those 3 wins, that's a lot of points. That would put them at a 130, which would tie them with a lot of teams. And, you know, a lot of teams put them in the winners as well. They put them in the winners, which is a very good place to be, and they could actually bump a lot of. It could have bumped a lot of ahead teams right here. I think I just said that completely wrong. What the heck? But yeah, Røkkr trolled a lot. I mean, not really much to say that, but I will, because I always like have to have some analysis in here. Sorry for the audio listeners, but I'm gonna pull up their last game. Who's their last game against? I think it was against Cloud9. Was it the Hacienda? Was there a Hacienda in this one? No, it was not this one. It was against Ravens then. Yeah, because there was a Hacienda in there. I think it was the first map too. Actually, no, it was fourth map. Jeez, it was fourth map, but right at the end. Okay. Røkkr versus Ravens. I'm so sorry for the audio listeners hearing me type and everything, but this can't be any worse than the Breaking Point podcast, right? Am I right? No, I'm kidding. Because there's a lot of awkward pauses in that one. Okay, my bad. Here. So we're going to pull this up. Right at the end of the Hacienda hardpoint. I was wondering what Gio was doing here. So he took way too much time. So here's Gio on the rotation of P3. So for those on audio, I'll explain it to you. So they were up at this point in time. So they're going to get the last 10 seconds. So they're going to be up 237 to 219 on P2 Hacienda going into P3. There's 10 seconds left on P2. And it's going into P3. And Gio is able to make his way right down the hallway, and he's in office right now. And P3 popped right now. And right now he's in office. He's anticipating a person coming on the back spawn, like on like the tin side, on the boathouse side. No one comes after a while. He's waiting there forever. He's waiting. 8 seconds has passed by on P3. One guy hops on a P3. He's still looking office. He's patio. Doesn't see anybody. So he's been around office patio for now like 15 seconds. Doesn't see anybody. And instead of hopping on the point and getting this one guy off the hill, because right now this guy on P3 is all by himself. There's no one even near him. He's all by himself and he's staring towards like the well side. And he could even see his teammate, number 3 Nero, coming along the fence line. So he has the opportunity to easily pinch this guy on hill and get this guy off, which will now make all of Carolina fly on the hill, and they'll most likely probably win the game if he just hops on the hill right here. But he doesn't hop on the hill. He just fucking sits here and does nothing. Look, he has a free kill right here. Even after he tags him up, doesn't really do nothing. And then he dies from the back patio, and then they don't even get freaking Reese off the hill like one guy does at the end, but TJ gets a 2-piece nade. But if he just flew onto the hill there and he killed this guy on the hill, they probably would have won the game from here. Because if he gets this guy up the hill, 3 and 1 could both turn their attention to Slasher, also help him patio. They probably would have just out-traded here. Maybe it's a bit hindsight, but that one kill I thought was very important. And there was a lot of trolls on this Hacienda. I may actually just like maybe break this down during the week, like for members or like something like that. But just one of the many examples. I could go through the Optic one, I go through the Cloud9 one, a lot of trolls in S&D and Hardpoint. But they're in a lot better place as they were before. A lot better of a place than they were before. I do feel like their control still needs work. Their hard points, there's just a lot of mistakes there. Their SD is probably like the best thing about them right now, and even the SD is not super great. So it's so hard to even like say. It sounds so contradictory saying they're like a much better team, but they still have so much to work on, which just goes to show how like bad of a team they were like before, I feel. But they put themselves in a shit spot. They're probably going to start in losers because I don't see them passing. They could pass Vegas because there is a chance that Vegas loses. I mean, Vegas most likely going to lose to FaZe, and Boston will probably beat Vegas as well because Boston's a way more organized team. They're way better at S&D. Control, depends on the control. They might play fucking Vault Control. And if they do, that's the one map Boston's actually good at. I do have Boston taking that. So there's a chance that Vegas could finish 1-4. But either way, Røkkr's going to finish 2-3. They're going to have to depend on Optic. They're going to have to depend, even if Optic loses, though. I mean, On the head-to-head, Optic beat them, so Optic's automatically ahead of them. Ultra's definitely going to win one of their 2 games. And then Carolina, their last game's against LATs, but they beat Røkkr on the head-to-head. Ooh, yeah, Røkkr lost head-to-head to basically everyone in the mid-pack. So their only chance is if FaZe loses both their games, to be honest. That's their only chance, is if FaZe loses both their games, but I don't think that's happening. So I think Rocker's going to start in the losers, so that's unfortunate for them. I think Cloud9 also going to start in the losers, and I think Vegas is going to be the last team to be in the losers as well. So I think it's going to be exactly how it is right here, but 6, 7, and 8 might switch around a bit. But yeah, I think the teams that are in the losers right now, which is Vegas, Cloud9, Røkkr, and LAG, I think those are the teams that are going to stay there after this weekend. But I do feel like all these other teams are all going to alternate a bit. Wherever FaZe fucking finishes, I don't think whoever finishes higher up here is going to want to play them. But that's just my opinion. So I think that's pretty much locked. Yeah. After looking through the games, I thought there was a chance Røkkr had, but after seeing like the head-to-head, they basically lost to every team on the head-to-head, which is insane. The only team they haven't lost to is the Falcons. So, you know, yikes, you know, fucking yikes. That's all I got to say. Yikes. And then Cloud9 has a chance, dude. Cloud9 could, but I mean, I don't see they play Vancouver, so that's a guaranteed loss, to be honest. That's a guaranteed loss. And then Boston, that could be a guaranteed loss too, because they just been playing bad. Like, yeah, I don't think Cloud9 makes it either. Don't think Cloud9 makes it either. Yeah, so I think this is pretty much locked. All comes down to, so Carolina play LAT, Atlanta FaZe play Optic in Vegas. They're going to take 1, if not 2. I guaranteed. I'm pretty sure they're probably going to win 2. Vegas plays Boston and who again? They play Boston and fuck FaZe. Obviously, I just said that. And then Optic's last game is against Atlanta FaZe. Who does Ultra play? Ultra plays LAG, free win, and they play Miami today, which is interesting. Miami's always gave them a good test, too. So, I mean, it doesn't really matter, I mean, in terms of the bracket, but that could be tough. So let's say FaZe wins both their games, they go 3-2, and let's say Ultra finish 3-2. They're probably just going to avoid them just based off of that. LAT's last 2 games were against LAG and Ravens. Okay, so there's going to be a lot of teams probably finishing like 3-2 or like 4-1. Miami, Vancouver, and LAT are probably the only teams that are going to finish 4-1. I think Boston could win both those two. We could have 4 teams on a 4-1. So let's say we have 4 teams on a 4-1, which is Boston, Vancouver, Miami, LAT. If Atlanta FaZe gets 3-2 and they go up and Ravens lose, it means Ultra could face FaZe in the first round, like just based off the fact if Ultra does not fucking finish like 4-1 as well, because just on the head-to-head, like they'll be above LAT because they beat them. If they finish 5th and FaZe wins their matches, I mean they could be 5th and 6th, which means they're gonna play each other. Actually, no. 1 plays 8, 2 plays 7, 3 plays 6, 4 plays 5. Okay, 4 plays 5. So they might just avoid them. Dude, whoever... this is going to be interesting. This is going to be an interesting bracket, not going to lie. But, damn, that was a lot quicker than I thought. That was 27 minutes. I'm like, shit, should I yap some more or what? After going through it, I'm like, there's actually, like, not as much to talk about as I thought. But, like, in terms of, like, the pro standings, so let's go through, like, the pro standings real quick. So, the gap, like, the top 5's pretty much secured of Atlanta FaZe, LAT. Atlanta FaZe on 340 points, LAT on 290, Ultra 230, Vancouver 215, and Carolina at 210, which is very good for Carolina, by the way. Very impressive. And then look at the gap from 5th to 6th. Carolina at 210, and then 6th place Optic at 130. And then 7-8, which is Miami and Boston, both have 130 as well. So an 80-point gap, which is insane, which means the top 5 is basically locked. So the rest of the teams are playing for 3 spots. We basically have, I can't even say like 6 teams. I mean, it's Optic, Boston, Miami, Cloud9, and Røkkr. So it's 5 teams playing for 3 spots. So that's why the mid-pack, this is the most interesting mid-pack we've had in a long time. We got 5 teams playing for 3 spots. Only 3 are going to get to that champs, which means this last weekend and the major tourney is going to decide a lot. Whichever one of these teams is able to make a good run will probably secure that, to be honest, and then the major qualifier matches like actually get some more points. So who's going to make a good run here? Miami probably has the best chance because they started 3-0, so they're going to be in the winner. They have a chance to like actually make a run and get some points. So I think Miami and Boston are pretty much good. I'm not going to lie. I think Miami and Boston are good for this. I think Miami and Boston are good. I'm actually going to like I'm going to take a deeper dive. Let's see Boston's Major 4 qualifier matches. So Major 4, they got LAG, LAT. Oh my god. Holy shit. Oh, fuck. I might take this one back. They got Carolina first, Optic second. That actually could be a win. Even the Carolina one could be a win. But with Dylan Rex, with like this last qualifier against LAT, then the whole major, and then 2 weeks of scrims before the qualifiers start, I think Carolina is going to be an even better team than before, so that's not guaranteed. Even the Optic one's not guaranteed, even though Optic's been playing very consistent. But they have Carolina, Optic, Vancouver, LAT, and LAG. Holy fuck. I don't know, man. Oh, it's another 5-game qualifier, I guess. Okay, it's another 5-game qualifier. So we're not having 7-game qualifiers no more. Okay, that's interesting. Boston have a hard schedule. A lot harder than I thought. I actually have to look through every other team. Dude, that's insane. Carolina, Optic, Vancouver, LAG, LAT, LAG. Okay. Let's look at Cloud9. So, let's just go through the teams real quick. Since I got some time here, so basically already done yapping, which is impressive. So Cloud9, they face Vegas, Ultra, FaZe, Miami, LAT. That's an arguably even worse record. Holy shit, that does not favor Cloud9 at all. Dude, I don't think Cloud9's making it, to be honest. Holy fuck. They're gonna have to drop attach, dude, like after the match. Bro, they need an upgrade, and they need it bad. Like, they need it now. I'm not even gonna look at LEG's record. Like, they're not making it. They're fucking cooked, bro. They're at 30 points, bro. They'd have to win, like, every game and also fucking win a major to get 100 points just to get close. Yeah, they're fucking cooked. Let's take a look at Røkkr real quick. Røkkr, where's Røkkr? Damn, they not play Røkkr? Oh, I'm on Røkkr. Holy shit. So Røkkr plays Vegas, LAG, Toronto, Carolina, Vancouver. There's like really no easy games anymore for like a lot of these teams. A lot of teams don't have easy games. Like, these are not like easy games except for LAG. But like even LAG, I mean, give them even more scrims. I mean, they're probably going to be an even better team, to be honest. But all these are not easy games. I don't even know, dude. This is tough, actually. This is tough. Let me see. So Røkkr is like the least difficult, but it is still difficult. Like Carolina, Vancouver, Ultra, Vegas, LAG, probably like the best out of all the teams I've seen so far. And then Optic. What's Optic's schedule? Optic plays for Major 4 qualifiers. Vancouver, Boston, Carolina, LAG, Toronto. That's also like a better schedule than the other teams have to do, because they don't have to face like Atlanta, FaZe, or LAT. But they do have Vancouver, a Boston team they struggle against, Carolina team who's going to be a lot better, who they've lost to before, but they've also beaten, I think. LAG and Toronto. Actually, have they beaten Carolina? I'm pretty sure they've beaten them at once. They lost them at the Major 1 tourney. They lost them in the minor. Oh, shit. They just always lost to them. And they lost them 3 on the Major 2 qualifier. Yeah, so Optics lost to freaking Carolina every time. They have not beaten them yet this season. So, and they've lost to Boston multiple times. Vancouver's a better team than them. LAG. And then Ultra Online. That's not looking good for Optic either, bro. I'm telling you. These teams have a shit schedule. A lot of these teams, bro. So, based off of just those ones, so where's the pro standing? So, just because of where Miami's at right now, I gotta look at Boston. That's the last team I gotta look at. One sec. Where's Boston? Boston have Carolina, Optic, Vancouver, LAT. Oh yeah, I think I already looked at that. It's a hard schedule. Yeah, but they could easily upset a lot of teams. Like Boston has a lot more upset like potential than a lot of the other teams. So my prediction, just right now, based off the schedules I've seen, I don't think Optic make this actually, dude. Yeah, but with Hook though, I mean, I just have a lot of faith, literally because of Hook Online, dude. I'm not even kidding. I got so much faith in that man online. I really do, bro. Let me look at this again, bro. Let me look at this again. Vancouver, Boston, Carolina, LAG, Ultra. They gotta make it, right? They gotta make it. Dude, I think it's gonna be Miami, Boston. I think dude, it actually might be exactly how it is right now. I'm not even gonna lie. It might be exactly how it is right now. Optic, Boston, Miami. That actually might be it. I think that might be it. I think it's going to be exactly like this, actually, because I think Røkkr trolled by not winning those. They needed to win those online qualifiers. If they won those online qualifiers, I would throw them in for Optic. I'd have Røkkr, Boston, Miami. But losing those matches was so big, and now the schedule is just not going to be any easier at all. I think Boston, Miami, for me, are locks, to be honest. They're going to be pretty much locks. And then that last spot, I mean, Cloud9's not getting. I don't think Cloud9's getting that. I think they waited way too long. They wasted too much of their season, which is why we implored these teams to make changes way earlier in the season, because now it's like you're so far behind, and now every game is like a must win, and you're not going to win all the games. So now you're kind of in a fuck spot. So I think it's going to be Boston, Miami, and Optic, just because Røkkr lost those games, bro. Those games were huge for Røkkr. But that could change, like, all depending on how the Major 4 qualifiers go. Røkkr could replace Optic, but I do feel Boston, Miami are locked. So basically teams are playing for the 8th spot, to be honest. But it should be like this. It should be like this. Because Optic's also going to be in the winners bracket as well for this major. So if we pull up the winners bracket. I mean, they could get even like Miami fucking first round. Like, they could easily win that, dude. Like, Optic could actually make it far. I think Optic's going to, yeah. I think Optic. So I think these top 8 that you see right now are basically like the top 8 at the end of the year at Champ. So that's like my prediction for that. And that pretty much wraps up my preview for this weekend's matches, I believe. I'll have more to say during the bracket prediction. It'll probably be another hour and fucking 30-minute bracket prediction going through everything once we get the actual brackets and we actually talk map pools and everything. But yeah, this is the shortest episode of Borito Talk ever, a 36-minute video. How many people are happy about that? How many people are like, fuck, I wish it was an hour and 20 again? I don't know. But once again, guys, if you want to support, hit the subscribe button. Tell your friends. Borito Talk is available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, also on YouTube. Join the Borito Takeover, the best YouTube membership on all of YouTube. A lot of extra content. Let me tell you, even like this one up on the screen right now. Dude, go watch this video, bro. This Optic comms thing, I'm telling you, bro, a good listen at the end of the night when you're just chilling, you need something to watch while you're like doing homework or on your phone or whatever. This is a good video to watch. A lot of good information from this listening that was not brought up on the flank or anywhere else. But with that being said, guys, this is it. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Borito Talk. This has been Borito. Still have to think a new outro, but for now, bada boom, bada bye. We'll see you next time.